Alright, so today got another GM product. Came in the shop today, money lights on. We got 3 codes, and this is a 2007 Pontiac G6. It's got the 2.4 in it, 4-cylinder automatic, and 86,000 miles. So go ahead and check the codes out real quick, and then show you what else we got. One monitor incomplete. We got 3 codes. Let's do pending. Camshaft position timing over advanced, or system bank 1. Then we got camshaft position actuator circuit, camshaft position timing over advanced, and then camshaft position timing over advanced. 3 codes: P0010, P0011, and P0014. Very, very famous codes for these. Permanent codes. Okay. And also I can go through here and I can actually see which things have been cleared, or what has been done since the last time it was cleared. HCAT not available. EVAP hasn't been cleared yet. So somebody's been in here resetting the lights. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the dummy cover off. And I've already done it, but I'm going to go ahead and go through the steps to show you. First, you want to take the oil cap off. Once you do that, then it's pretty much, there's a tab here, one here, there, and I believe one at the back. And then the whole thing will pop off. And I'll show you what I mean. See these little things right here? They're studs. One here, one there, and apparently there's not one on that side. There's one right here that it goes in. See what I'm talking about. Anyway, so just lay the dummy cover to a side. We got 2 parts in. You want to make sure that you keep up with this. Basically, we're going to be replacing the intake and exhaust side of the solenoids right here on top of the intake, or the valve cover, I should say. And they're actually numbered. You have intake, which is the first one. You have exhaust, which is the second one to the back. And I've actually marked them so I don't mix them up. But if I'm not mistaken, you actually cannot plug the intake or the exhaust backwards because the connectors are different, just for that simple reason. So you got exhaust side. There's the part number TS1015. And then you got the intake side, which is TS1014. Not sponsored by Durlast, but they are about $50 a piece, so taxes and all is like $118. Alright, if you look right there, there is one 10 millimeter, the other one is a 10 millimeter. You take those 2 out, both sensors pop out. Do them one at a time. You see the markings, intake and exhaust, and you cannot get them mixed up, like I said, because as long as you keep the connectors separate like this, when you unplug them, one over here, one over there, the inside of them are different. You see how that one's made versus that one? And they're different colors too. See the difference? Alright, so go ahead and take those out. Gracious, it's a long bolt. We went back and forth. Pulling up at the same time, of course. really help if the bolt comes all the way out, huh? Alright, I got one of them out. This is the exhaust side. Doesn't look too gummed up. A lot of times, oil changes, if they're not regular done, it'll cause these codes and lights to come on. And make sure that your oil is full too. You can't have it low. If it's low, then it'll make the light come on too. That's what I've heard. Okay, here's the new one. You can tell it's got some lubrication on it. It's awful shiny and slick. It's already got some stuff on the O-ring, so you don't need to put anything on there. But if yours doesn't, you can see it's on my hands. Then put just a dab of oil in your finger and rub it around on the O-ring so it pops in and doesn't tear the O-ring up. Since it's already got all that stuff, and the bolt has its own little thing where it doesn't kind of fall out, just pop it in place. Just easily set it down, and then tighten the bolt up. Alright, that one's in. Snug it down. Be easy with it. Do not over tighten it. You will screw up the threads. This is aluminum and it's easy to strip. So I've got some of these pliers and I'm just going to go down and grab it and yank it up. Just like that. Get something ready because oil's going to come out everywhere. Probably should have done this one first. Again, same thing. Doesn't look gummed up. Get the new one out of the box. Comes with instructions, but who reads instructions anymore? And it has the same lubricant all over it. This is like a grommet, so I just kind of either unscrew it and then kind of wiggle it back and forth till it slides down. Just like that. We'll dry up the area where all that oil came out. And then once that's done, and we'll just pop this back in its place. Just kind of easily set it down. Don't force it. Good snug fit like that should be good enough. You don't need to go crazy over it. Alright, you want to go ahead and plug them back in. Another thing too is check out these connectors. Sometimes they'll get frayed or bent or broke or cracked or vice versa. But if they look good, then just plug them back in and hear the click. Let you know that it's in there, and that is not a crack. If you see that, that's actually a mark from like a marker. That one clicked in too. And like I said, you can't get them backwards, so just plug them in and we'll go ahead and clear the codes and start it up. Alright, all the codes are erased. Now you gotta do a drive cycle, at least 50 to 100 miles. So basically, we just gotta drive around and see if the light comes back on yet. I think that's pretty much going to conclude this video. That's pretty much how you replace the intake and exhaust sensors. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the bottom. I'll try my best to get to them. I'm going to go ahead and do a drive cycle and go and just see what happens. This video is routinely just to show you how to replace them and then go from there. like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. There's how to repair videos on the channel. Check them out if you will. And as always, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps out for whatever you needed to keep the vehicle going on the road.